Hi friends, here in this video we are going to discuss IELTS academic task 1, that is report writing. First of all, a few basics about what all is included in task 1. So there are different types of graphs that you can get in your task 1. They can be bar graph, line graph, pie chart, process, flow chart, a combination of any of them, a map or a plan, and maybe one or two more. So here what we are going to do is discuss a few of the basics of how to attempt task 1, and then we'll do one example of a flow chart or a process chart, because that is generally a bit different from all other types. So let's do the different one first. So here the structure. First of all, you have to spend, or you should actually spend only 20 minutes doing this and keep the rest of the 40 minutes for your essay writing, because as you know, the marking of task 1 and task 2 is different. Task 2 has double weightage of marks in your writing, so you should definitely spend double amount of time there. And 20 minutes over here is more than enough. You won't actually require more than 20 minutes to write a report, because the word count is quite less, just 150. You have to write at least 150 words, and it's good to wind up between 170, 175, 180, and advised to remain below 200, because otherwise you will need more time to write more, and that we cannot afford. So the time 20 minutes, word count minimum 150, maximum 200, good to be in between 70 to 180. Now the structure, it's actually advised to follow 3 or 4 paragraph structure. Here you can write 3, you can write 4, depending upon the question type again. 3 or 4 paragraphs are, first is introduction, then body paragraphs in which you are going to explain your chart, and then an overall conclusion. The first thing we need to learn here is what all is to be put into introduction paragraph. 3 basic requirements or 3 important requirements which have to be there in your introduction paragraph are: first, the name of the chart, whether it is a flow chart, process chart, bar diagram, map, line chart, or a combination of pie chart. The name has to be there. And then the rephrasal of the question. Like if your question says the bar chart shows this and this, you have to just rephrase it a little, saying the presented bar chart gives information about. So you can just change the positioning of words and use synonyms at their place. Not a very tough form of rephrasal, quite an easy word-to-word rephrasal that you have to do, which we will learn in every question that we do in the class. And last thing to be included in introduction is what stands out from the whole picture. So there can be bar graphs ranging from 30, 35, 40, 30, 35, 40, 37, 38, and there is one which is extremely at 2%, or there is one at 98%, right? The bar shows 98%. So you have to give an overview to the picture presented to you and just find out that which is one thing which actually attracted me, that here something it is different from the other information. So that information has to be mentioned in the very first introduction paragraph. But as you can see, there is something written in red: avoid writing data in introductory paragraph and the concluding paragraph, like avoid giving percentages and the data. Just be with words in the first and last paragraph, because otherwise it will be like a monotonous way of writing. You're including data from the very first line till the very last line. So just keep it fresh, keep it something different, keep it something new. And so you need to follow this. You can follow this if you want. You can follow this. So the example that we're doing today is a process diagram. The question is right in front of you. There are 6 boxes which show the process for the recycling of aluminium cans. So you can get this type of process diagram with pictures. You can get one only with words, that is a verbal flow chart also. So here a pictorial flow chart that we have. We need to describe that. So let's see what should be there in the first paragraph. The presented flowchart shows the step-by-step procedure of recycling of aluminium cans, starting from collection till their reuse. So now the name of the chart, the presented flow chart. What is it showing? Shows the step-by-step procedure. They said it is showing recycling of aluminium cans. So because there were different steps, they were very evidently or very nicely differentiated from each other. So I wrote step by step. You could have even written 6-step procedure. The number of steps which are there in the question, you can write 6-step procedure, step-by-step procedure of recycling of aluminium cans. We cannot actually make a big change in this, comma, starting from collection till their reuse, because in process diagrams or in flow charts you generally don't get something which stands out because it is like a flow. We cannot just say that this particular step is very important, because if the previous one is not done, you cannot move ahead. So I couldn't find anything which can actually, I could say that stand out. So I found something. Okay, I can write starting from collection till the reuse. So you can look for any such information, the first step and the last step, and just put them together for your flow chart or your process chart. So I hope the idea of introduction is clear from here to you. Let's move ahead. There are different types of connectors which are used in flowchart, which are actually a bit different from what we use in other types of graphs. So here we'll have a look at that. The cans are first collected at a particular place. Now because it has to be in a sequence, the process always works in sequence. So we can use sequence connectors in process chart or flow chart to give our information. Like we say the cans are first collected. We could have said firstly the cans are collected, right? We can write in the first stage the cans are collected. Anything which signifies that okay, this has to be done first. So the cans are first collected at a particular place, because in the picture there was recycling and then a particular place where aluminium cans are to be put. So I just added a particular place. And then, now and then signifies what is to be done after that. So you have to be very careful about the connectors that can be used. And then taken to a factory, you could see in step 2, where they are sorted and cleaned thereafter. So I just took 2 out of the processes that they mentioned to complete, because otherwise my sentence would have been quite long. So I took that, and then one connector to make it a compound sentence, taken to a factory, then where they are sorted and cleaned thereafter. That's it. Then because we said that they are taken to the factory, so you can say in there, or you can even write in the factory if you want to make it more specific. In the factory, or you can write after cleaning. So what is the last thing you did was cleaned. So we can start with after cleaning. So it is very important to learn these tricks, because otherwise it will become again monotonous. You will be following the same sentence structures and you won't get good marks for that. So because it has to be in a link, we have to take care of the cohesion and cohesion. So think of what was the last thing we did, we can link it. Like it was cleaned, so we can write after cleaning. In the next stage, secondly, in the factory further. So a special machine is used to shred and crush them. So now shredding and crushing, it is a bit logical that aluminium shredding and crushing is difficult to do by hand. So a special machine is used to shred and crush them until they form a solid block, so as to form a solid block, till the time they form a solid block. So again a connector to join our condition. Then now we wrote that to form a solid block. So I started like the formed metal. So it will be a solid block of metal, because it is aluminium. Aluminium is a metal. So we can start the formed metal is then. Again I have used is then. Heated, which was the next step, to a high temperature. High enough temperature to allow the block to melt. High temperature to allow the block to melt. High temperature so as to melt it. Melt the block, melt the metal. Whichever words you feel that you have not used many a times, you can form your sentence according to that. Next, so in there, because we had mentioned a place, then we took something from the previous step to start. The formed metal. Here in the factory further. After that I thought that it's okay, it's done to link with the previous step. Now it's some time that I should think of something new. So you can write in the next step. You can even write the number of the steps. Suppose you're at number 4, you can write in step 4, in the 4th stage. So in the next step, the melted form is rolled and flattened to a thickness of whatever information has been given. The recycled aluminium is then ready to be formed into new packaging such as, is then into new packaging to be formed into new packaging such as, I'm giving an example. So you have to put a lot of information, but in a very simple way and accurate way at first. Then comes finally, the new cans are sent for filling, whichever is the last step. Finally, they are sent for filling to different soft drink factories and sold to public after that. Now I use the connector in the end because I have used a lot of time and then is then. So I did not repeat it. I wrote and sold to public after that. After filling, they are sold to public. Then there was a percentage of 74% of cans are recycled ones. In the UK, of all the sold aluminium cans, 74% are recycled ones. Now giving a very complex sentence structure rather than giving that 74% of cans are recycled. 74% of the cans used are recycled ones. So just try to learn in the UK, mentioning the place first. Of all the sold cans, 74% of what? Of all the cans. Of all the sold cans, 74% are recycled ones. You can actually learn the techniques to form sentences like this. So you can divide your information into number of paragraphs depending upon the length of paragraph that you are choosing. It is okay to write it in 1, 2, 3 and 4 also. You can just add 2 sentences or even 1 sentence in the last paragraph and club it all here in 3 so that the length is equalized. It is not that there should be exactly equal proportion of words or equal length that you are using, but there should not be a very big difference. Like if one paragraph is of 50 words, another is of 20 words, so that won't look very good for presentation. So depending upon the length, you can just divide your information. But yes, you can keep the finally thing for the last. Even if you want, you can explain it in 1 paragraph. If you are going good, keep this for conclusion and that for intro and form 3 paragraph approach, completely up to you. But if you think that is looking quite long, so you can divide it into 4 paragraphs. Now, one more important thing which you need to learn to explain your process. When you will actually start doing it yourself, you will face the problem of using the tense form. So there are different forms that can be used, but it's good to learn one and practice that rather than learning many of them. We can go in continuous form also. I tried, but then I thought this one is quite easy to understand at first. We'll do one with the continuous form later on. So present is, am, are and third form of verb. So it is right, are collected and then taken, they are sorted, cleaned, is used, is heated. Then comes in the next step, the melted is rolled, flattened, is then ready to be formed. So this is the best way to do the flow chart, the process diagram. Keep it simple. Keep it the way you understand it the most rather than trying each and everything out. Just learn one thing, practice it, do it perfectly, and then only if you feel that okay, I need to learn, I'm curious to learn what is the other technique, maybe I am better at it, we are there. We'll definitely do it with another tense form, but for the first time, for you to practice and actually write yourself, follow this technique. It's quite easy to do. So this was all that we need to discuss about process explanation for task 1. Be very careful about word count. I have not counted because this is just a sample that you can improve. You can actually cut it short somewhere, or maybe add 1 or 2 lines in that. So I hope it was a learning experience. You find it useful. You learned a lot of things about task 1. Now pick a question of the same pictorial process diagram. Write it yourself, think on it first, then write it yourself, get it checked by us, get our feedback and improve. So again, the mantra is keep practicing, keep learning, and hence you will definitely keep improving. Do a lot of practice till the time it is your exam, and seek our help wherever you need. Till the time, thank you. Good day.